I'm gonna start with.
The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is all comprehensive. Good morning to all and welcome to the CNES International Relations Cluster meeting on a very interesting topic that we have in our hand, the influence of artificial intelligence on diplomacy. So the first question I would like to ask is, AI has changed the way economics work. In fact, it has changed almost everything. How do you feel AI has changed the way diplomacy works?
Um, I don't think I don't think AI is gonna be such having such a drastic impact on anything as far as diplomacy is concerned. But I do think that surely it's gonna be something like a tool that will help aid the diplomats, the foreign luminaries perform the services better. For example, when we see in the United Nations, the most beneficial use of AI that I can imagine us seeing is when in the United Nations there are people from different countries who all have different vernaculars and different languages. The most beneficial job that the AI can do is help translate them speeches that are being performed by other luminaries and other speakers. And that's why, so far as I'm concerned, AI will not have such a drastic impact so as to that it will change the landscape of diplomacy, but will surely help provide them with tools that will help aid them perform the services better.
Danish?
Yeah, I just wanted to add to his point that it wouldn't make a drastic change, but something like writing statements, for example, will can easily be done by AI, and that's one of the small things that AI can aid with in diplomacy.
Very well made point. The second question I have to ask is, will artificial intelligence change the way diplomats work, or will it just improve the existing tools? What do you feel about this? Yes,
Like,
Tanish, please.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Okay, so I think that it would change the tools. I think it could improve the tools by a lot. For example, we could use data, like there's a lot of data about history and conflicts between two countries, for example. AI can help analyze it, or AI can help analyze the statistics of a given problem. So I think it would improve the current tools that diplomacy has, but I don't think it would bring any new drastic changes.
Please, Nakul, your point.
Right. Yeah. Just building upon that and what we used to discuss before. For example, when AI was initially introduced, everyone thought in the university that, oh, now doing assignments will be the easiest job ever. College work would be the easiest job ever. But since we've come to understand and come to learn, that is not the case in ground reality. It is only something that has helped us increase our productivity, help increase our workflow, help us suggest ideas. Apart from that, everyone is well accustomed to the fact that AI is only there to aid us become a better version of ourselves and not to change us and make another version of ourselves. And I think the same would be applicable to diplomacy.
Yes, very well made points here that AI is not always the most perfect tool for a job. The next question is then, how much should we limit AI to diplomacy? Where should we put the line in AI and diplomacy?
So there was a recent case that happened in I think a US court where the council made the submissions using ChatGPT, and ChatGPT then generated cases of their own. They made a facts of their own, and when the judge saw this, he was furious as to how can a council like this depend their whole research on ChatGPT. And I guess that's where we have to draw the line. We have to draw the line where we are not dependent on it solely for giving us our own facts and old reasoning, but we are dependent on it for the AI to guide us to a certain way. It shall only act again as something that is going to aid us, help us improve our workflow, increase our productivity, and not something that we can solely depend on to do our work.
Tanish, your point, please.
I just wanted to add the point of cybersecurity. I think when it comes to AI, these days, countries like China and Israel and the US also have gotten very strong with the cyber attack. So if we completely depend on stuff like technology, when diplomacy is more of a human connect, I think these are some of the issues we would have to avoid. So.
Okay, so well made points here. Now, I would like to change the topic from AI as a tool to AI as an asset. As we are learning that many countries are creating their own versions of ChatGPT. Russia is creating its own. China is creating its own. And now India is also working on it. So what do you feel that how AI would improve, that AI as a resource would help India improve its relationships with other countries?
I think similar to the arms race that we've always had since the beginning of time, it will only act as something that will boost the egos of all the countries, and will only act as something that, oh, we've got this level of coding and this level of AI in our arsenal. And again, akin to what we had in the weapons race, this will now be an intelligence race where every country will try to go and make the best intelligence available to them.
Tanish, your point.
I would like to agree to this point, and also that diplomacy, especially in the context of India, needs a more human connect, because India is seen, at least we market ourselves as the land of peace and the land of culture. So we can't exactly have AI making us do our diplomacy, because especially in the country of India, we need that human connect when it comes to engaging with other states or multilateral institutions.
So well made points here. Now, for the last question, as we all know, the most contentious issue in the world is of borders. Draw a line somewhere wrong, and suddenly you have the whole entire plethora of the four horsemen coming down on you. So, what do you feel? How could AI improve the way we draw our borders? Yes, Tanish, please.
So this is actually one of the few places where AI could help us out a lot. For example, when we draw borders or we draw lines, there's a lot of geographical analysis that goes into it. We have to make sure that every single place of every single line that we draw has to not go through a mountain, but has to go around it. We have to look at all the data of where the communities lie and what the linguistic differences and the ethnic differences are. So when it comes to drawing borders or settling border disputes, we have to go back into the history of the place, the geography of the place, the economy of the place, and I think with that, it's going to be very easy to have AI, since it also can do neutral mediation and look at all of this data at the same time, something that is going to be more difficult for humans. And of course, everyone will try to go into the self-interest, which is not neutral. So when it comes to these sort of issues, AI could help us out a lot.
Very interesting points. Nakul?
Right. Building upon that, just like my colleague said, see, the thing about AI is that it's artificial, no? So it has no human sentiment to it. So when we're going to draw up borders, there are habitations to consider. There are humans that we would eventually have to displace and rehabilitate. And I do not think that AI has the capabilities to understand the human sentiment and human emotional aspect of it, of what it means to rehabilitate from one place to another, of what it means to different communities and the different cultural gaps that we have to bridge when we're drawing a border. So that's where I think AI will not be able to help us to a very large extent in this particular field.
Yeah, adding on to that point, that borders even change the culture, how it goes. For example, there's a single line divide that divides Potahar in Pakistan and Marwar in Rajasthan, but still both the cultures are extremely different from each other. So very wonderful points were articulated by both the columnists here, and we can say that AI would play a major role, small but an important role in the way diplomacy is conducted in the future. And AI would soon be the new atomic bombs. As Oppenheimer said, now I've become that destroyer of the world. Now AI can also claim the fact that now I have become the intelligence of the world. So that's all from my side. Thank you, and we hope to meet you soon.